Let's find out who some of the companies with the biggest cults are, starting with number 4, In-N-Out Burgers. The cult classic chain In-N-Out Burger refused to follow the fast food industry's competitive corporate structure when they became an iconic establishment. This family-owned company avoided menu expansion, refused franchising, said no to external investors, and resisted engaging in price wars. Despite having a presence in only 7 Western states, In-N-Out attracted people nationwide, many of whom include celebrities and influencers. Its mass appeal could be the exclusivity of the brand. Rather than constantly advertising or posting on social media, In-N-Out remains silent, creating an insider feeling among loyal customers who provide word-of-mouth advertising. Harry and Esther Snyder founded the hamburger shop in the 1940s. It garnered popularity with its two-way speaker system and was the first drive-through burger stand in California. When Harry passed away in 1976, his youngest son Rich took over and grew the chain from 18 stores to 93. After Rich passed away, the chain went to a third generation of Snyders, who increased its presence to 200 by 2005 and 300 by 2015. In-N-Out today remains a private family-owned company, and they have no intent to change that. The business model helped In-N-Out stand out against the competition. It offered much-loved menu items with different types of burgers, but the owners have always kept its menu simple. Rather than churn out new offerings every few months accompanied by viral marketing ploys, In-N-Out never changed from how it operated in the 1940s. They focused on quality, friendliness, and cleanliness. Their refusal to serve frozen patties and have freezers or microwaves on site meant all restaurants needed to be within 300 miles of an In-N-Out distribution center. Since there are only 2 in the country, 1 in California and 1 in Texas, it limited the chain's ability to expand into other areas of the country. Additionally, the organization committed to treating employees well. High salaries, paid vacations, good benefits, flexible schedules, and a promote-from-within culture created a happy and satisfied workforce. Today, the chain opens around 10 restaurants a year and shows no signs of changing its business model. And with such a die-hard fan base, there's no reason for business to slow down anytime soon. Number 3. LaCroix. A market of health-conscious consumers looking to limit sugar without giving up flavor allowed the LaCroix cult to take over the country. The brand began in a family-owned Wisconsin brewery in 1981. It stayed local until the National Beverage Corporation acquired it in 1992. New leadership gave the can its instantly recognizable retro, bright-colored look and planned to turn LaCroix into a national hit. Initially, the National Beverage Corp marketed to health-conscious women, believing it would be too difficult to appeal to men who preferred energy drinks. The company distributed it to grocery store chains, co-ops, and more, and discovered new consumer bases. Many consumers reached for the beverage, especially those looking to live healthier lifestyles and trying to cut back on sugar or alcohol. With soda at a 30-year low in consumption in 2015, execs at LaCroix saw an opportunity. Its flavor range expanded from 6 in 2004 to 20 options in 2015. The new flavors appealed to a wide range of tastes and encouraged devoted fans to find and taste all of the varieties. They shipped LaCroix to more stores nationally than ever before, stores including Whole Foods. LaCroix appealed to hip crowds who appreciated that its parent company was much smaller and less corporate than other soda manufacturers. LaCroix also decided to go with a flashy rainbow packaging and not investing in any traditional advertising campaigns. This contributed to millennials feeling a more authentic brand and also allowed them to discover the brand themselves organically. The drink's identity grew beyond being a source of hydration, and people wanted to be a part of the movement on social media. Whether it was posting a LaCroix selfie with the hopes of ending up on the brand's Instagram or offering it to guests at parties, LaCroix developed mass appeal and all of a sudden found itself with a true cult following. Number 2. Sriracha Hot Sauce. David Tran arrived in the US as a refugee from Vietnam. A few years later, he created the hot sauce that die-hard consumers couldn't live without. Born in Vietnam, Tran faced persecution due to his Chinese ethnicity at a time when the Communist Vietnamese government believed China sent immigrants to dismantle the country's economy. Before the war, Tran made hot sauce using chili peppers from his brother's farm. They sold the sauce in recycled Gerber baby food jars left behind by US service members. Although he didn't give his sauce a formal name, he drew a rooster, his Eastern astrological sign, on the lid of each jar. As the situation in Vietnam worsened, he fled the country on a freighter boat and arrived in the US in 1979. The government granted him asylum and he headed to Boston, although he stayed there less than a year. During a phone call with his brother-in-law, he realized that Los Angeles had the perfect supply of red peppers for his sauce, and Tran decided to move to the City of Angels. He established Weifong Foods, named after the ship that carried him away from his homeland. He wanted to create a sauce for pho, but aimed for it to be something that appealed not just to Vietnamese immigrants, but also to wider multicultural audiences. Inspired by Heinz 57 ketchup, Tran wanted to make a spicy version of the condiment that would be its rival one day. After some refinements, he perfected the Sriracha recipe, combining fresh red jalapenos, salt, garlic, sugar, and vinegar. Tran created the American version of Sriracha into the iconic hot sauce it is today. But he didn't invent the sauce. A Thai woman named Thanom Chakapak from the coastal community of Sriracha invented a hot sauce intended to be a cocktail sauce for seafood in the 1930s. Known as Sriracha Panish, it was widely popular throughout Thailand. Many urged Tran in the early days to make the sauce less spicy and switch to a tomato base for broader appeal. He refused, standing by the fact that hot sauce should be spicy. He relied on word-of-mouth advertising to spread the word about his product. He initially targeted Californian pho restaurants and regulated demand as the production and quality of the hot sauce depended on the limited supply of fresh chili peppers. Sriracha's popularity surged as Americans developed a taste for spicy foods. It was the preferred hot sauce which retailers, restaurants, and fast food chains embraced. The hot sauce joined the ranks of staple condiments like salt, pepper, and ketchup, and found its way onto the tables of countless households and food establishments. Companies developed meals around the sauce. Taco Bell had the quesarito, Pizza Hut offered a Sriracha honey drizzle sauce, and Applebee's had a Sriracha shrimp dish. Despite Sriracha's recognizable bottle and red color, these restaurant chains weren't using Tran's sauce. Tran trademarked his product's bottle design and logo, but not its name, allowing companies to use the brand's popular name recognition while adapting the recipe to fit their needs. In 2005, Weifong Foods received complaints from East Coast consumers who claimed that the beloved sauce tasted different. These consumers accused the company of changing the ingredients or diluting the sauce's quality. Weifong Foods discovered that knockoffs with packaging errors and inferior contents had infiltrated the market. The company took legal action against distributors and retailers to prevent more counterfeit sales, but struggled to identify the source of the issue. A breakthrough came when a security guard contacted the organization about multiple pallets of goods marked with the company's address abandoned in a parking lot in the City of Industry. Tran visited the site where he found two men loading the boxes into a dumpster belonging to a carting company. The company received instructions to dispose of 13 tons of waste from a client who paid by a traceable check. Weifong Foods uncovered their imitator as Yaxito, an electronics warehouse owner who pleaded guilty to possessing contraband when authorities found knockoff printer cartridges in his facility. Between 1996 and 2010, everyone in Rosemead, California knew Weifong Foods had its headquarters there, just by the distinct smell of chilies, garlic, and vinegar that filled the air. With growing demand and rising popularity, the company opened a factory in Irwindale, California in 2012. Irwindale residents were unhappy with their new neighbor and complained about the smell and its impact on the city's air quality. Locals claimed that the scent caused throat irritation and watery eyes, prompting the city of Irwindale to file a lawsuit against Weifong Foods, claiming its presence was a public nuisance. Tran responded by opening the facility to the public, inviting visitors to experience the smell firsthand. The city's consulting firm argued that the odor varied throughout the day and affected individuals differently. In 2014, the city dropped the lawsuit, satisfied with Weifang Foods' efforts to address the issue and their commitment to finding a resolution. A year later, the city sued the company again for $400,000 in unpaid fees. In 2010, Weifang and the city agreed that the company would pay $250,000 to the municipality instead of taxes. Weifang Foods made 3 payments from 2012 to 2014, but missed their 2015 payment. Tran argued that the city had harassed and mistreated his company, and he was halting the contributions until the situation was resolved. In 2016, the company countersued the city, claiming the fees were invalid. Tran stated they made the previous payments in good faith and stopped when the city's behavior became problematic. Despite these controversies, Sriracha's popularity soared, capturing 10% of the market share in the US hot sauce industry. In April 2012, Weifang Foods released a statement that devastated fans. It had to halt Sriracha production for several months due to severe weather conditions affecting the quality of chili peppers. Fans rushed to stores, filling their baskets and carts with as much Sriracha as they could find. Prices skyrocketed, and although other hot sauces were available, devoted consumers refused to switch. Number 1. Southwest Airlines. Airlines weren't usually known for their popularity, but with reasonable prices, no hidden fees, and happy employees, Southwest Airlines has developed a cult following. Southwest Airlines began in Texas and immediately set itself apart from other airlines. At a time when commercials featured men in suits, Southwest put out commercials with flight attendants in miniskirts and hot pants. Years before airline deregulation, which normalized price competition, Southwest advertised a low fare and no-frill travel approach. They avoided search engines, didn't assign seats, let flight attendants go off script, and served peanuts long after their competitors banned them. Yet, its loyal customer base kept growing. Customers noticed early on that everyone from reservation agents to flight attendants treated them better than other airlines. In a world where employees refused to stray from strict company policy, Southwest worked with customers to find solutions and improve their flying experience. Employees enjoyed unmatched job security, having never faced layoffs or furloughs in the company's history. Also, Southwest repeatedly avoided bankruptcy or going out of business. It hedged its fuel, meaning it prepaid for massive amounts of jet fuel at a low price. Therefore, when the fuel crisis of the late 2000s swept over the industry and oil prices spiked, Southwest avoided the devastation that other companies experienced. While customers never worried about paying extra for checked bags or charges for changing tickets, the airline didn't win everyone over. Some complained about chaos at boarding time, and since it didn't turn up in search engines, flyers overlooked the airline. Southwest decided to avoid search engines as their prices stopped being the lowest in the market. They might not have always seemed like the cheapest option initially, but they didn't charge for 2 checked bags and had no additional charges. But for Southwest's loyal customers, shopping around is not a consideration. It might not be the lowest fare option today, but with its customer service, free bags, and no hidden charges, travelers still flock to the airline daily. Click to watch one of these next videos. Let us know in the comment section what your favorite brand is when it comes to food and beverage.